So the last episode of the Plaits Synthesis Models Series, seriously, this is the last episode. I think I have tears in my eyes. Today we have the analog hi-hat, which would be interesting because it's basically just noise. So we will see what we'll do this. Let's see what we are dealing with first. This is the sound. Maybe we can trigger this just so we get... with the harmonics, we can change between noise and something more metallic, as you can hear. You can change the decay time, and we can change also the high pass. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. From the auxiliary, we have a different flavor of a hi-hat, something with ring modulated pulse waves or something like this. Okay, so let's see really what we can do. I guess since it's noise, did we have noise before? We had the snare, and we had some filtered noise, particle noise, but with the snare was fun. The last video was really fun. Okay, so let's see what we can do. Let's go with some carpless strong voices. Let's start with the delay from VCV. It works really well actually for carpless strong. Carpless strong is just sending a burst of noise to a short delay with high feedback, and you get this string-like sound. And with the delay from VCV, it's hard to sequence this, but maybe we can get like a pedal note, like one note, maybe a bass note or something that we can work with. So let's trigger this again with the same clock, just so we can see what's going on, and send this to the mixer. Okay, so this is the delay. Let's set the decay all the way down. Maybe I need some more levels here. Okay. And now mix all the way up. I just want the wet signal. Let's leave the color as it is. Let's take the time a bit down. Already it's getting interesting. And then feedback up. And we get a string-like noise, voice. Okay. And now let's tune this. Let's use hot tuna. By the way, those of you who are not familiar with this series, I will use only Plaits. In this case, it's the analog hi-hat as my sound source, just to explore the sounds a bit, to see what we can do with it, have fun. That's the most important thing. And as I mentioned, this is the last episode. And we will see what will come next. Okay, so let's try to tune this. Okay, C sharp. Let's go with D. D. So the longer the delay time, the lower the pitch. It's not so easy to tune, but here we have D, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And now let's see if we can sequence this, or maybe just trigger this. No, you know what? Let's use a sequencer. Let's use a sequencer, just a trigger sequencer, nothing. Let's use algorithm. I just want like a 7-step sequence. So let's hit start already. Also algorithm, it's better to change the startup state. So it's on remember. If it's on remember, never mind. If you open the patch, it will be saved. The startup state will be saved. So if it's running, it will load also running. Let's use a multiply by 2 clock. I don't know why. Let's see. And this will trigger Plaits. Why is it just... okay, so here. Okay. So now, first of all, I want 7 steps. And I want only the first step active. Let's also send the reset just in case. So already we have something. Let's see if we can change the timbre a bit with... Oh yeah. More decay time on the hi-hat means even more harmonic. harmonics. Oh, here, less harmonics. This one wants a sort of a bass, I guess. Let's change the color here. There is a built-in filter also on the delay. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Maybe a bit more feedback. Yes. This is really a string-like sound. And let's modulate the color here. I hope you can see everything. Let's modulate the color here of the delay just a bit to add some movement to the sound really slowly. This is a walk which will output smooth random voltage, as you can see here. If I take the rate up, you can see that it's random, but it's smooth. It's not totally random, as you can see there are no big jumps, and this is called Brownian walk or drunken walk. So it will not jump like sample and hold, for example, but it will go smoothly from one step to the other. Never mind, let's take the rate down. Let's take the scale all the way down for now, so we can control the modulation depth. This will modulate the color, so let's add a bit. I just want each strike to be a bit different, a bit just to add some movement here. Okay, now let's use the blob, the chrono blob, and let's sync it with our clock. I have 120 BPM. I don't know, let's go something a bit quicker. Let's go with 127. Okay, and now let's send this to the chrono blob. We'll take the wet all the way down for now. Let's use mono, stereo, mono. Let's see stereo first. Okay, let's go with ping pong and let's add some delay. Oh yeah, let's go with mono. I just want this. Oh yeah. Yes. Okay, before I add reverb, let's add something in the feedback loop. Like always, or as always, I use font from Nano. This is also available as hardware, by the way. This filter from Nano. It works amazingly with Chrono Blob. They have a relationship together, I guess. And what I want to do, so now it's in the feedback loop. As you can see, when we use a mono delay on Chrono Blob, we have here, if I zoom in a bit, you can see we have here send and return. So from here we will send it to an effect or to a filter or to whatever, and it will return to the delay and it will add this module in the feedback loop. So now let's take the feedback a bit down, because this can get easily or quickly wild. And now I have control over the repeats, over the delays, over the frequency, over the harmonic contact of the delays with the filter. So I can make them darker, but the fun starts when we raise the resonance, of course. Even more. Oh yeah. Yes. Okay, so this is what I want, and I will use an LFO, just an LFO from Borg Audio. Let's set a triangle wave and slow, maybe even slower than this, and modulate the cutoff point, and let's raise the resonance again. Okay, now let's add some reverb. Let's call this bass, I don't know, just so I know what's going on. Oh yeah. Shall we try to make it a bit more crunchy? So it's a bit... Let's see what happens when I add Vakumba in another channel. Just, I want to see how it sounds like. I want to listen to how it sounds like. Let's see. Before Chrono Blob. Okay, so what we will do is this. Let's use tangents. Let's see, maybe we can add another layer to everything. Okay, tangents, I will use the high pass filter because I don't want the lower frequencies. I have them here more or less. Just want the higher frequencies, and let's crank this up a bit. Yeah. And let's see what happens when we use another blob, this time stereo. And again, sync it with the clock. Let's see. Let's take the levels down a bit. Okay. Maybe just the wet. Full of reverb. Okay, now what I will do to save this space on the mixer, actually I will just mix those two voices together. So let's use a sub mixer from Nischi. So I will use one here and the other will go there, and I will take the levels down for the second channel here. And this will be this here, initialize. Okay. Okay. Still need some levels. Okay, so this is one voice with another layer on top. Maybe it's too much, but it's okay. Okay. Let's see, if already we are with CarPlay Strong, let's add, of course, another Plaits. Let's initialize the controls here. And let's go now, there is a dedicated delay for CarPlay Strong. It's called Wallenda from Studio 6+1. I have a video all about it. Really interesting delay module. And again, it's dedicated for this type of synthesis. CarPlay Strong. So let's use a short burst of noise. This time let's go with something quicker, maybe multiplied by 4. I don't know, let's see, maybe we can create a nice sequence out of this. And let's see what happens here. And this we can tune, this works better with the tuning. Okay, let's try to sequence this, exactly what I did now. Let's see, let's take a sequencer. Okay, 8 steps, and I will trigger this from the algorithm clock. Let's reset also everything. Opala, sorry. Excited. Okay, before we start sequencing this, let's use already this quantizer from JW. Quantizer, very nice. And let's see what we can do with this volt per octave we have on Wallenda in this case. Let's go to step 1. Okay, step 1. Step 5 needs to be need D maybe. Okay, let's see. Let's change the range here so it's easier. Let's say negative positive 5. Yes. Okay, and now let's run it with the, let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, now here there are a few things we can do. First of all, let's change the flat sound a bit. Maybe I'll take it a bit down, it's a bit too harsh. Let's call this sequence, and before I add reverb I want to change the sound a bit just to have more fun with the reverb later. Okay, so first of all let's see what happens when I change the harmonics. This is nice. Okay, and now here we can change again the feedback time, which is the decay time, but I don't want to do this. We can add also voices in unison to make it a bit fatter. And let's see what happens when I use maybe a quicker clock or a slower clock. Let's see. We can also add some stretching to this. Oh yeah. Okay, let's see now with reverb how it sounds like. Oh yeah. Okay, now here I will add a filter. I will add tangents after everything, just because I want to control over the result here with the low pass filter. Just like this. Let's take the cutoff somewhere here and use another LLFO. Maybe another triangle, I hope. Yeah, okay. Triangle, slow again. I want this really slow. And let's see. Okay, I think it's time for height. Oh, this is bipolar. I want just unipolar. The LFO here, with the offset, you can turn it from bipolar negative positive 5 volts to unipolar 0 to positive 10. And in this case, this is what I want, because I want it to start at this point of the cutoff and go to the right and will open. So 0 to positive 10 is what I want. Maybe a bit more resonance. What else we can do? We can also use more LFOs to modulate the panning of this voice. So I will use 2 LFOs. One will go directly to the panning of this voice, as you can see here. Let's turn it to slow. And the other one, if I take the scale all the way down and the offset all the way up, so it's unipolar, and I can control the range of modulation, I will modulate the frequency of this LFO. So let's start from here. Again, it's unipolar, so I can set where I start, and this is where it will start changing, and then take the scale a bit up. Slow. Have a look here on this yellow. And maybe I don't want it to be hard left and hard right, so I can change here in the right click menu the pen CV input level. I can change this to, let's say, 70%. So now it will stop already here. By the way, maybe you can help me if you know a solution. I'm using OBS to record a screen. On Windows, there is no possibility to capture also the mouse, the size of the mouse as I have it set. It will always have the mouse cursor, I mean, this small, and it's really hard to see things. If you have a solution for this with OBS on Windows, it will be amazing. I couldn't find anything. Okay, now let's take another sequencer. This one will be, oh, maybe patterns. Oh, there's a new pattern module from JW. So let's use patterns. Let's use a multiplied by 2 clock. And patterns, basically it's a clock divider, but you can divide the clock and already in one module combine the different divisions, the triggers from different divisions, so you can get really interesting rhythms. You can choose either an OR gate or an XOR gate, so whenever one or the other or both are on, you will get a trigger out of the OR output, or whenever one or the other, but not when both are on, we get a trigger out of the XOR, so it's a bit less frequent. So let's see what we can do with this. Let's use the OR for now. Again, I'm on the analog hi-hat, the last episode. It's the last episode today. Oh man, let's use the auxiliary output. Okay, and let's see, let's divide this by 1, which is basically the same clock. Just to find the sound. I want this noisy. Okay, so now we can divide this by 3, let's say. And by 4, 5. You hear this rhythm? And then we should reset also everything once we are done with this. And if I divide it by 2, this is the O output, but from the XOR we'll get it less frequent. So not when they are playing together. What I will do, I will use a clock to do this movement for me. So we have a clock, let's say divided by 1.5. And this will go to the CV input. You can use also clocks for modulation, why not? And if it's too sharp, we just use a slew limiter. Let's see if it's too sharp. It's too frequent, so let's divide this by 2. Still too frequent. Let's divide this by 3. Let's divide this by 4. And now what happens if you have a look at the scope, because it's a pulse wave basically. So if we have a look at this pulse wave on the scope, you can see that it will stay open this long. And maybe this is too much for me in this case. I just want one hit. So what I can do, I can change the pulse width of this clock. So let's take it a bit down. Let's take it to, let's say 25. And now look at this, it's shorter. Still too long. Let's take it to 15. Oh yeah, a bit less, let's say 10. See here, yes, this is what I wanted. And now let's use a divided by 3. I want them to meet, but they are not meeting. 1. Not frequent enough, because now we change the pulse width. So let's go with 2. Let's see the original output. Okay, no, the auxiliary was nice. Okay, now let's use Supercell in looping delay mode, just to add more movement to everything. So let's send the auxiliary here to the Supercell, and Supercell will go to the mixer, and let's change this to looping delay mode. And I can, so this will be a delay mode, delay basically, and I can sync it with the clock through the trigger input. And let's solo this. I'm sorry, I'm going to solo this for a second, but let's see. Just want to see how it sounds like. Okay, so first of all, we can change the shape, which is low pass to the left, high pass to the right. So let's high pass this a bit. Okay, density will be smeared all the way to the right, or sharp all the way to the left. This is what I want in this case. Position will be the delay time. So let's change the delay times. And we can add some feedback to this. Some panning. Okay. Okay, this I don't want to do in this case. Let's add some space. You know what, let's see what happens when I use not a multiplied by 2 clock, let's use a multiplied by 4 clocks. I will use R gate from Bog Audio, which is a clock multiplier as well. This will be the clock, and let's also reset everything. Let's multiply this by 2. Okay, reset. Okay, let's take the mix a bit down, so the delay is not in the same. Oh yeah. Let's call this heads. Okay, this we will also do. We can modulate the density, which is again smeared or not smeared. Supercell has a built-in modulation source. All you have to do is open the attenuator as long as there is nothing connected in the auxiliary input. So density all the way up, maybe a bit pitch. We can modulate the pitch a bit, it's not a pitch instrument. Maybe we can... do this, we can modulate the hold. Let's use chances from Count Modular, which is a Bernoulli gate. And I will use, let's use the OR output from the clock. And let's see if this can... It's not holding it long enough because it's a trigger and not a gate. So let's use the gate from the R gate. Also not. Let's, I know what I can do. I can use the OR and I can set it to latch. So it will open a gate and close it. As you can see here, this is better. And then we can also modulate the size with the built-in modulation. How long are we already? 31 minutes. Whoa. This was long. Okay, still we are not done. We are not done. Don't go anywhere. Bit lower, and I want to modulate also. Let's take the low frequencies a bit out even further. I want to modulate the panning of this voice, so let's use sample and hold, and I will use already the sample and hold from Mokba just so I have more sample and holds. Maybe we'll use them also later. Where is it? Here. Let's trigger this with multiplied by 2 clock. No, with the multiply by 2 clock. Okay, never mind. And this will modulate the panning here. And again, I don't want this so much. And I can also change here the probability, by the way. It has also probability control. So it will not be always. So let's really use the multiplied by 4 clock in this case here from our gate. Okay. And now what I wanted to do is modulate the reverb every once in a while. So let's use an AD envelope. I will use the one from Nischi. And I will use micro map. This is something you cannot do in hardware, but it's fun. Why not? I mean, we can do this in BCV. So let's assign the send reverb for the hats. And now I will use the envelope to slowly open this. Look like this. Let's make this linear, maybe a bit quicker. Okay, and now what we will do, let's use another chances, and I will use the trigger from the first, what is it? The trigger from the first chances, so I get it even less frequent. And I will set it to be mostly that it will come out of B, but sometimes it will come out of A and will trigger our envelope. Yes, okay. Okay, we are still with the hi-hat, yes? This is all the hi-hat. Let's see what else we can... Maybe sort of waves or something. Or maybe another arpeggio? Let's start with an arpeggio. Let's see if we can make an arpeggio happen here. Arpeggio, so I will use another Wallenda. Again, which is a delay... dedicated for carpless strong, and I will use the grid sequencer from JW, which has now probability per step, which is amazing. Amazing. So let's use the multiplied by 4 clock actually from our gate here. And the normal clock. So we will have 16 steps. Let's reset also everything. And let's stay with D minor D. Okay. And now let's see, let's use the gate to trigger Plaits and the pitch to sequence Wallenda. Okay, let's randomize the notes. Let's take the... Now we can start changing the probability. I don't want unison, but I want to modulate the feedback. So again, here we have the sample and hold, which is exactly what I want. So let's modulate the feedback. A bit less probability, more range. And maybe we can add Just for those of you who are using hardware out there, maybe you can add a few more percussive sounds with a different delay. So if you have a delay in your system, it just needs to be really with the short delay times. So Chronoblob will work, for example. Mimeophone will work, of course. Mimeophone is amazing for couple strong. What else? Magneto can also work. It can also self-oscillate, so this can also, you can also use this as a voice. It has also a built-in pitch control. I think the looping dual delay from 4MS, is it? Can also do couple strong. Yeah, so this you can also experiment with. Okay. Again, let's modulate the panning for this voice. I like it when it's, let's call this ARP. It's not an arpeggio, but let's call it ARP. I don't know. Some reverb. Okay. Yes. This is nice. I cannot believe that this is the last episode. The last. This is the last episode, Philip. Sorry. Okay. I need another Plaits. Plaits. Let's use a different delay now. Let's see what delay we have. What delays we have. We can use the Rainmaker, but I don't want to use the Rainmaker. We can use... Let's see what happens when we use Sangster. I mean, I don't think we can get short enough. 50 milliseconds is not enough for couple strong, but let's see what happens when we use Sangster. Maybe another something percussive. Let's trigger this with the same multiplied by 4 clock. Again, this is just the hi-hat model, which is quite fun. I'm sorry, I'm soloing this for a second. Okay, I want something bright, first of all. Maybe let's go metallic. Okay, now let's see what happens here. What do we get? Let's take the lo-fi, so we get more high frequencies, more aliasing. Ooh. Let's use sample and hold. I like this. Maybe less frequency or less probability. Again, modulate panning. Let's take the low frequencies out. Okay, I need something. I need a bandpass filter here. I need a bandpass filter to accentuate some frequencies here with some nice resonance. And again, modulate also the cutoff. Man, this is nice. Does it work with the other sounds? What? Yes. Haha. Let's call this glitch. Let's add some reverb to the glitch. Just some, no need for so much. Or actually, you know what? We can add. What we can do? Let's see, reverb. I think the one from Nischi, how is it called? I forgot. The ambience is quite nice for stuff like this, for modulating it. Let's see, I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Because we have the bypass. Let's bring the room size. This is insane. A bit more early levels. Something like this. And again, we leave the sample and hold, and because only, I think above 1 volt it will trigger this bypass, but we have here negative positive 5 volts, so it will not be so often. I can even take the lower range even a bit down, so let's say negative 8 to positive 5. Okay, this is nice. Now I need a sip, a schluck of water. You will have to excuse me for a second. Let's have a look at the... This is nice, this is nice. The last episode. Yeah, it's okay. Every ending is a new beginning. Cheers for this. Oh yeah. Man, this is nice. Opalach, sorry, this is a nice sound with this Sangster delay. 42 minutes. Let's try to add some ratcheting, hi-hat. I will use again R-gate. Let's use the normal clock, and trigger another hi-hat here. Okay, let's first of all change the sound rate. This is nice actually, but maybe with ratcheting. I don't know, let's see what happens. Let's take the length of the line. Okay, let's up to 8, let's say, and then sample and hold. Let's reset everything. I don't like it so much, let's see. Okay, maybe not 8, let's say 4. I don't like it with the ratcheting. I liked it, but when it was steady on the offbeat. So let's use one of the trigger outputs from algorithm. What we have to do is in the right click menu, if I zoom in a bit, we have the step outputs. If it's always active, it will always output a trigger here. When even if the step is not active. So what we need now, our gate we don't need anymore, but what we need now, we need logic. So let's use, I need 2 triggers, 3 triggers. Let's use binary from also from grayscale, which works amazingly with algorithm. I hope you can see everything. Again, the mouse is too small. If you have a solution for this, let me know. Okay, so what I will do, I will combine the second and let's say the fourth and let's say the 7th triggers. Let's see what happens here. Okay, but we need more movement here, so maybe a nice delay. Let's use, you know what, let's use not the chrono block this time. Let's use a different delay. A different delay. I can use the clockable delay, but it's nice, but I don't get. I think I'm doing something wrong with it. So first of all, I want to let's add some feedback to this. I wish it was without, I mean, with knobs, you know, or sliders or something, and not with the numbers. I wish, but because it has a reverse function, which is quite nice. Let's see, tap clock. Can I sync it with the clock? It's clockable delay. It should be syncable. I'm sorry, I have to solo this for a second. I'm sorry. But you can hear it has a reverse. A reverse clock. I'm sorry, I don't think I will use it in this case. I have to work with it a bit more. I will use a different delay. If I can find one. The dual delay I can use, but the dual delay is really nice for pitch or melodic. I can use the echo, but no, I just want a simple delay. You know, this is what I will do. I use an Nektar because I like how it sounds. I like its color that is adding. Where is it here? And now what we have to do, here is another tip you can do. If you don't have a clockable or a syncable delay, you can use the calculator from AS, which will sync to your clock. And then you can see I have the maximum here is 350 milliseconds. So I can try, for example, 315, right click menu, see if it works for me. No, let's try 236. No, let's try triple 8 notes, so 157. $177. Yes, this is what I want. Okay, so now 177, let's say 180, just to get it a bit more wonky, let's say. Let's call this hat 2. It adds another layer to the sound. Okay, now I want some noise, a swoosh of noise. So let's see what we can do with this. Let's use another filter. Swoosh of noise, a low pass filter. Let's take the resonance up and the cutoff down, and let's see what happens here. I just want noise. Okay, and here we need more delay, so let's use the delay from V, C, V, very nice, VCV, mix all the way up, longer delay times, more feedback, maybe the color a bit to the right, so it's, opalach, you don't see it, maybe the color a bit to the right, so it's, there are not so many low frequencies here, this isn't what I want, maybe even more feedback. And lots 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 of reverb. Okay, let's see. Let's wait for it. Okay. There's a nice atmosphere to it dispatch. I like it. Okay, and what we will do now, just so it will play by itself, we will use another chances, as you can see here. And I will use the output from the first chances. And let's say again, mostly it will come out of output B. And I will use another AD envelope. I use AD envelopes a lot for modulation, which is quite nice. For me, at least. And this will trigger the envelope, let's say a nice long envelope. And shorter. Yeah, but it happens too often. I don't want it to happen too often. So let's take it even more to the side of B. Okay. This is nice. We have one more channel. Let's call this swoosh. Swoosh. Not enough. Swoosh. 50 minutes already. I have one more channel. I don't know what to do. Let's try a feedback loop. I don't know. Let's use another Plaits feedback loop. Let's use a matrix mixer. This is also something you can do easily in hardware with a matrix mixer. The new one from Instruo looks interesting. And let's use plateau. Okay, so what we will do is this. Let's leave it as it is for now, and let's trigger it with a multiplied by 4 clock that we have here from our gate, this one here. And here we'll have, this will go to input 1 of the matrix mixer, and output A will go to plateau. So input 1, you can see it here, input 1 will go out of output A. All the way to the right, see we have signal here. Plateau will go to 2 and 3. And 2 and 3 we will send to B and C, and this will go to the mixer. And here we have to be careful with the levels when we are dealing with feedback loop, so let's take it already a bit down. Okay, right, so now if I take up 2B for example, you can hear it, and 3C, right? Shall I solo this for a second maybe? I will solo this. So again, now the reverb will come out of B and C, so input 2, which is the reverb, come out of B and C. But now what I can do, output A is going to the reverb, so I can send input 2 to output A, which creates a feedback loop, because it will go to the mixer and to the reverb and to the mixer and to the reverb and so on and so on. So let's say 2 out of A. Let's be careful here. Let's see what happens. Feedback loop. Okay, let's change the sound here of the reverb. Let's take the dry all the way out. I don't want the dry. Maybe take the diffusion down. Diffusion. So it's nice and delay-like. Nice. Oh yeah. Okay, now what we will do, we'll use a VCA, this one here, from ZZC. And I will send this first of all to a VCA, because I don't want this always up. I don't want this voice always to be on. So I can control the levels here. I can even clip this a bit if I want. And then when I open it, I can add and take it down. So let's first of all add some reverb to this. Oh, what happened? What happened here with the... Okay. Oh yeah. And now instead of doing this manually, I can add another envelope, as you can see, and it will be, let's say, a longer envelope that will open it here. Now I can have right? I can have another mousy here. Okay, more reverb. Let's see. So I can just trigger it. Yes, feedback loop. And noise and everything is coming and going, and I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. It was so much fun. There were a few episodes where I didn't really like the models or the model. It was too harsh for me, but Plaits all in all was a pleasure to try and to work with. We didn't even do anything here special, no FM or feedback modulation, feeding back Plaits into itself or whatnot. So there's so much more to explore. If you have the hardware module, I hope this gave you some inspiration. If you are using it in VCV-Rack, I also hope it gave you some inspiration. Let's do another feedback loop here. It's a dark patch. It's a dark patch. Nice. What shall I say? That was it, the last episode. I have some ideas what to do next. I have to sit down and think what will be interesting for myself and also for you. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and all the other videos in the series. Plaits Synthesis Models Series has come to an end. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for your support. If you enjoy what I do, consider becoming a Patreon. There are some cool things there on my Patreon page. Like, subscribe, all this good stuff. Thank you again. Cheers.